earn a decent salary. You're not broke, but somehow, at the end of each month, there's barely anything left to save. Sound familiar? Here's the uncomfortable truth. The middle class is caught in a web of money traps specifically designed to keep them comfortable but never wealthy. These aren't obvious scams. They're normalized behaviors that everyone around you is doing, which makes them nearly invisible. Today, we're exposing the hidden money traps that are silently draining your wealth, and more importantly, how to avoid them. Let's start with the most insidious trap of all, lifestyle inflation. Here's how it works. You get a raise, a promotion, or a better paying job. Finally, you think, I can breathe a little easier. But instead of saving that extra income, you unconsciously upgrade your lifestyle. A nicer apartment, a newer car, more frequent dining out, better vacations. The psychology behind this is powerful. We adapt to our income level and fill it. Someone making $50,000 and someone making $80,000 often have the same amount saved because their expenses expand to match their income. Studies show that for every dollar increase in income, Americans typically increase their spending by 90 cents. That's a 90% lifestyle inflation rate. The solution, when you get a raise, immediately redirect at least half of that increase into savings or investments before you have a chance to adjust your lifestyle. Automate it, make it invisible. Let your past self enjoy the standard of living they were already happy with, and let your future self enjoy the compound growth. Transportation is typically the second largest expense for middle-class families, right after housing. And this is where people make one of their costliest mistakes. Buying new cars. The moment you drive a new car off the lot, it loses approximately 20% of its value. In the first year alone, it can depreciate by 30 to 40%. You're essentially lighting money on fire for that new car smell. Let's do the math. A new car at $35,000, financed over 5 years at 5% interest, costs you about $38,000 total, plus registration, higher insurance, and depreciation. That same car, bought when it was 3 years old for $20,000, saves you $15,000 up front, hundreds annually in insurance, and the steepest depreciation has already occurred. Over a decade, if you invest those savings at a modest 7% return, you're looking at an extra $40,000 to $50,000 in your investment account. The middle-class trap is thinking you deserve a nice new car because you work hard. Wealthy people think differently. They ask, what's the smartest financial move? Often, that's a reliable 3 to 5 year-old vehicle. Banks will approve you for much more house than you can actually afford. Just because you're approved for a $500,000 mortgage doesn't mean you should take it. The old rule was to spend no more than 28% of your gross income on housing. But here's what they don't tell you. Property taxes increase. Maintenance costs add up fast. Utilities for larger homes are more expensive. HOA fees rise. That seemingly affordable mortgage payment is just a beginning. A common estimate is that you should budget 1 to 2% of your home's value annually just for maintenance and repairs. On a $400,000 home, that's for $8,000 per year that most people never factor in when they rehouse shopping. Then there's the opportunity cost. Every extra dollar you pour into an oversized house is a dollar not growing in the stock market, not funding your retirement, not building your financial freedom. The trap is equating a bigger house with success. Real wealth isn't in your square footage, it's in your net worth. Buy the house that meets your needs, not the one that impresses your neighbors. $10 here, $15 there. Individually, subscriptions seem harmless. Collectively, they're a silent wealth drain. The average American now pays over $200 per month on subscriptions. That's $2,400 per year. Over a decade, invested instead of spent, that becomes nearly $35,000. Streaming services, music platforms, meal kits, gym memberships you don't use, software subscriptions, app upgrades, and premium features you've forgotten about. Companies deliberately make these small enough that you don't notice the charge, and just inconvenient enough that you don't bother. This is called the subscription trap, and businesses love it because they get predictable, recurring revenue while you slowly leak money. Here's your action step. Set a calendar reminder right now for this weekend. Go through every subscription and recurring charge. Ask yourself, have I used this in the last month? Does it add significant value to my life? Cancel ruthlessly. You can always resubscribe if you truly miss it, but you probably won't. Here's a brutal statistic. Nearly 60% of Americans could uncover a $1,000 emergency without going into debt. Without an emergency fund, every unexpected expense becomes a crisis that pushes you further into debt. Your car breaks down. You put it on a credit card at 18% interest. You lose your job, you can't pay rent, a medical issue arises, and you're financially devastated. This creates a vicious cycle. You're so busy paying off emergency debt that you can't build an emergency fund, which means the next emergency creates more debt. This is exactly how the middle class stays trapped on the financial treadmill. The solution starts small. Forget the advice about 6 months of expenses if that feels overwhelming. Start with $500, then $1,000, then 3 months of expenses. Then 6 months. Automate a transfer every payday into a separate high-yield savings account that you do untouch unless there's a genuine emergency. Not a vacation, not a sale, a real emergency. This single habit creates a buffer between you and financial catastrophe, and it's the foundation of building wealth. Credit card debt is financial poison. With average interest rates hovering around 20 to 25%, carrying a balance means you repaying a premium for past purchases that you've probably already forgotten about. Let's put this in perspective. If you have $5,000 in credit card debt at 22% interest and only make minimum payments, you'll pay over $7,000 in interest alone, and it'll take you over 20 years to pay off. Meanwhile, if you invested that $5,000 instead at a 7% return, it would grow to nearly $20,000 over the same period. That's a $20,000 swing in your net worth from one $5,000 decision. The middle-class trap is treating credit cards as extended income rather than a payment tool. The convenience of buy now, pay later comes with an enormous hidden cost. If you're carrying high-interest debt, this is your financial emergency. Before investing, before anything else, attack this debt aggressively. Use the avalanche method, paying off the highest interest rate first, or the snowball method, paying off the smallest balance first, for psychological wins. Either way, make it your mission to eliminate high-interest debt. Social media has turbocharged one of the oldest money traps, comparing yourself to others. Your friend posts vacation photos from Bali. Your colleague just bought a Tesla. Your neighbor renovated their kitchen. Suddenly, your perfectly adequate life feels insufficient. Here's what you don't see: the credit card debt funding that vacation, the 7-year car loan for that Tesla, the home equity line of credit that paid for that kitchen. People showcase their highlights while hiding their financial stress. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. The median retirement savings for families is virtually nothing. That coworker with the luxury lifestyle might be one missed paycheck away from financial disaster. The comparison game is unwinnable because there will always be someone with more. The only person you should compare yourself to is your past self. Are you better off than you were last year? Are you making progress toward your goals? Wealthy people don't build wealth by impressing others. They build it by making smart decisions consistently over time, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Your financial decisions should be based on your values and goals, not on maintaining appearances. The final trap is waiting to invest. Many middle-class people think they need to be debt-free, have a perfect budget, or have a large lump sum before they start investing. This perfectionism costs them decades of compound growth. Consider this: someone who invests $200 per month starting at age 25 will have approximately $500,000 by age 65 at a 7% return. Someone who waits until age 35 and invests the same amount will have only about $240,000. That 10-year delay costs them over $250,000. Time is your greatest asset when investing, and the middle class often wastes it. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need thousands to start. Many brokerages now have no minimums. Start with index funds, automate your contributions, and let compound interest work its magic. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is today. Let's recap the 8 hidden money traps. 1. Lifestyle inflation that expands with your income. 2. The new car depreciation disaster. 3. The oversized house that drains your wealth for the subscription avalanche you've stopped noticing. 5. The missing emergency fund that keeps you in debt. 6. High interest debt that compounds against you. 7. Keeping up with the Joneses on social media. 8. Waiting too long to start investing. These traps are designed to keep you comfortable but never wealthy. They're normalized, which makes them invisible. But now you see them clearly. Breaking free doesn't require a massive income or secret knowledge. It requires awareness, discipline, and making different choices from the people around you. Every dollar you save from avoiding these traps is a dollar working toward your financial freedom. The middle class doesn't have to stay trapped. Start with one trap. Fix it, then move to the next. Your future self will thank you. Which trap are you going to tackle first? Let us know in the comments.